And the truth is, I agree with just about everything he does. Like, he's right. There are church-state violations every lawsuit he files, and he gets a lot of criticism for it, but he's right. They are violating church-state issues. This is his daughter. She's a freshman at a high school in the northwest suburbs. She did 2 things this past school year for homecoming. She was on the committee to select homecoming songs, and one of the songs that was suggested was America the Beautiful, or in God Bless America. Now, I don't know why that's a song you play at a high school dance, but she said, no, we shouldn't play that song because I think it'll be offensive to atheists. And the committee said, yeah, okay, that makes sense. And they took it off the list. And then 2 weeks later, people found out about it, and they made a big uproar about it. She got God out of homecoming. And that's not her intention at all. The other thing, though, is in Illinois, they passed a law earlier this year where they mandated a moment of silence in the classroom. Basically, and they didn't even play around with it. They called it the Moment of Silence and Prayer Act. And this passed in Illinois, so me as a high school teacher, we have to give students a moment of silence and prayer. That's obviously unconstitutional. If you look at the lawsuit that was filed, she filed it with her dad. It's under her name. She was the plaintiff in this case, and it got passed. She won the lawsuit. And they stopped it. They changed the law, so they took out the prayer part, and they said it's not mandatory, it's a voluntary moment of silence, if you want, but no one's going to do it. I live in a I teach in a very religious, conservative area, and everyone at my school was like, they don't really talk about what I do, like my atheism never came into play, but everyone just made fun of this lawsuit, or this mandatory moment of silence, because it's dumb. But it's her lawsuit, it's her, like, that's courageous. That's a very positive thing. And while her dad may be a little rough around the edges, she's the sweet girl that you can't really be mad at. It's great. This is Lori Lippman Brown. I only have a couple more examples. Lori Lippman Brown's the director of the Secular Coalition for America. She's the one that lobbies on Capitol Hill on behalf of atheists, humanists, free thinkers. She actually hands Congress people a business card that says the word atheist right on it. And the amazing thing is she has such a cheery persona that she has gone to Republican offices and they welcome her. Because they know she's not going to make them tone down their beliefs. She's not saying, we want you not to be Christian. She's saying, hey, look, there's a lot of atheists and people who are not religious that have an opinion on a particular piece of legislation, and let me explain to you where our position is. Now, are they going to vote her way? Probably not. The fact is, she has actually gone into a lot of offices that atheists would never have been able to go into. And she's actually building coalitions and alliances with a lot of other secular but religious groups on Capitol Hill where they want church-state separation, even though they're religious. She's getting a lot of headway in that. One of the biggest things the Secular Coalition did is we asked the question, I wonder if there's anyone in elected office in Congress who's an atheist. Is there anyone who doesn't believe in God? Because as far as we know, there's nobody. And it would be hard-pressed to find someone. And we said, maybe the most highest ranking elected official is like a local dog catcher. And so we posed a contest. We had a contest at the end of 2006 where we said, if you can name the highest ranking elected official who is openly non-religious, we'll give you $1,000. Figuring that will actually get people to do it. They want the money. And we said, the rules are they actually have to be open about it. Maybe they're secretly an atheist, but that doesn't count. They have to be open about it. And we figured, okay, worst case scenario, we get a dog catcher. Best case scenario, George Bush is an atheist. So what happened? We got all these entries. It turned out the winning entry, which was actually made by 2 people, was a congressperson, someone elected to National Congress, and he said, I am a non-theist. He checked off the box. And he called himself a Unitarian, Universalist, but he said, I'm not religious. And he was able to go public about that. His name was Pete Stark. He's from California. He is the first openly non-theistic person in Congress. Has anyone here seen the Colbert Report? Stephen Colbert, in his book, I Am America and So Can You, he talks about atheism in his book, and he says, we need to stop these atheists. They have taken control of Washington, minus the executive branch and the judicial branch. There are as many as 1 non-religious people in Congress, and this Pete Stark needs to be stopped. So anyway, I think these are all examples of people we can emulate. They're not out there ripping down people's faith. They're saying, I'm atheist. We need to be visible. We need to be respected. And that's a good thing. And if there are more people like these latter group, these other people that are really positive out there, more people are going to hear what we have to say. and they might actually start thinking about their religious beliefs critically. They might actually lose their religious beliefs, but it's not going to work if you tell them, you're religious, stop. It's not going to work. A couple Christian publications actually talked about this trend of atheists getting into Christian media. This one was very positive about it. There were a couple books about this being written. Outreach Magazine, a hardcore Christian publication, put out their best resources for churches of the year. Oh my God, I sold my soul was on there. How cool is that? And right underneath is like heavy fundamental Christian everything. And by the way, the funnest part about this book being on this list, it was up against like 4 other books. And after the results came out, I happened to find the blog of one of the professors who had written another book, and he says, I can't believe it, an atheist beat me in this prize. It was awesome. Anyway, I wrote this post a while ago, but basically, why am I not an angry atheist? Why am I not out there criticizing everyone? What I found during this entire journey is there are a lot of Christians out there that are not fire-breathing, evangelical, fundamental Christians. I found Christians who were Democrats. I found liberal Christians. I did not know they existed. But they're out there, and they're out there in big number, and they agree with us on so many values and principles and in terms of what the government should be doing, but they happen to be Christian. And my thinking is, if you're not trying to stop scientific progress, stop research, hurt my gay friends, control a woman's body, things like that, why am I wasting my time attacking you when really the bigger problem is the fundamental Christians who don't consider anybody else's point of view here? And the amazing thing is there are so many more Christians than we give credit for that think very similarly to the way we do, but they are religious. One girl that visits my website actually made these wristbands that say friendly atheist on them that I give out as prizes on my website. They're for sale in the back. One thing I like, I give them at a recent conference, Daniel Dennett, Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris were all there. And I saw Richard Dawkins was really excited, and I gave him a bracelet, and he's like, oh, and puts it in his pocket, whatever. Sam Harris sees it, he's like, interesting, puts it away. Daniel Dennett loved it. But I think it's cool. I think if you get behind this idea where, you don't have to be mean about the atheism thing, we have a lot better chance of getting our viewpoint. So anyway.